So it's Sunday, March 17th, 2019, St. Patrick's Day. And what we're going to be doing today is disassembling the ETRIKE and taking these off and grinding them down so they're flush. These braces off and grinding them to so they're flush with the frame. I mean, no sense carrying the weight around. I need to grind them anyway. I need to cut them and then set them aside, and then I'm gonna start putting the ETRIKE together, starting with putting these forks on. I wasn't gonna paint them, but oh man, it would take like literally a day. And I mean, you know, there's just no reason. This is chrome, and it's not, you know, shiny chrome, so I think it'll kind of go well with the montage of the bike. Plus it's a beater anyway, and you know, and this, you know, that's just what I'm gonna do. And that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna disassemble the bike and start grinding. And this is not gonna be a long day of work. It's Sunday, but I definitely want to get this done. So we'll be back when they're done. So it's Sunday, March 17th, 2019, and just a quick update on the ETRIKE. So I basically ground down the braces to the shape that they need to be. I didn't really do any, you know, major finishing or anything on it. I mean, this thing's a beater. I mean, this, look at that. I mean, this thing's scratched up. It's just getting put together the way it is and rolled the way it is. But you know, I was thinking while I was doing stuff this morning, it's like, you know, not too many people around here really identify with, you know, bicycles and putting them together and riding them and the freedom and the fun and all this stuff. And you know, how did I get started? Well, when I was 12 years old, I would basically jump my bike and tweak the rims and wreck the bike so I wouldn't have to ride my bike to school and my parents would have to give me a ride. Well, my parents got tired of you know, just paying the bill basically, and they said from now on you're gonna have to fix your own bikes. And so when I went down to, you know, get a wheel at the local bike shop, I'm like, well, how do I, you know, switch the freewheel over? And the man at the bike shop sold me this for $10, and this is how it got started. This is a tool to remove a freewheel. And that day that I, you know, took the old you know, tacoed or bent rim off my Schwinn Varsity 10-speed and put a new freewheel on, put the tire back on, you know, aired it up and put it back on and rode it, and realized it was better than when I'd taken it apart. I was hooked. And and I've used this freewheel removal tool many times since then on other bikes, but that's how it got started. And ever since then I've just been working on my own bikes, and I wouldn't do it any other way. So just a little storytelling, because the next thing on this is I'm going to take those god-awful looking forks off this thing and put the chrome forks on. So that's the next step. Okay, so it's Sunday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day 2019, and we're back down in the dungeon with the ETRIKE frame. And I was going to put those forks on, but then I started like thinking and kind of replaying the memories of how I built all the other ones and what you need to do first. I mean, there's no sense installing forks and then taking them off. I'm going to put the battery on the bike and then drill the holes and install the controller. So that's what we're going to do next. So I will install that and be right back. Okay, we're back real quick. So just the next step is I basically installed I'm gonna leave this on the tripod, but I installed the magnets for the battery, and I drilled an extra hole and mounted a riv nut in here just for that extra measure of mounting strength, because I mean that's the only thing that's holding this battery on, and I had this thing anyway, and so I figured, well, you know, okay, I'm just going to do it for city, but that's going to give it an extra measure of strength. So we got 3 super magnets. Let's see if this will work. Nope, guess not. But they are really strong super magnets that hold the battery on. So I'm gonna throw the battery on and line up the controller. Okay, so there's a quick shot with the battery on. Now we're gonna line up the controller for mounting. Okay, so we're getting ready to drill the holes for the controller. So we've marked kind of where we want the controller to line up. I put a piece of, that's really the best way, is just take a piece of masking tape and line it from center to center, so that way you have a straight line for your, you know, your holes for your to drill for your mounting for your controller. And so we're going to drill the holes and be right back. Okay, so we're back and we have all the holes drilled and the rib nuts in. So I'm just gonna mount the controller and level it out and mount the forks. Oh, just in case you don't see my other videos, you know, I installed the rib nuts with this tool. And just basically drill a hole and use that tool to compress the rib nut. That's what they call those things, into the hole, and then you just bolt everything up. So on to the next step. Okay, so we're back. We have the controller on. You know, obviously the battery's on. And so what I'm going to do now I'm going to you know, mount the forks, because if I'd have mounted the forks before I did all that stuff, I'd have had to taken the forks off to drill the holes for the controller and the you know, just to hold all the wires, you know, the rib nuts to hold all the tie wraps for the wires for the controller. So okay, so we're gonna install the forks. Okay, so now we're getting ready to install the headset. So we're just going to do this step by step. Okay, so the bottom headset cone is installed and onto the top. Okay, so the top headset cone is in, and now it's onto the forks. Okay, so we're back and we got the forks on, and so I'm just basically, I played with you know, all my spacers, and God, bashing my head on that pipe. Well, I can't even see them, but anyway, they're spacers like this to get your right height for the forks. And so now it's a little tall, but I mean, you can always, you know, trim it more, but you can't like put material back on. So I think this is where I'm gonna start, and then if I want to trim it, I can always, you know, cut more off. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna, because you figure this is my old man tricycle, and so I'm gonna mark this right here, and then I'm gonna cut it off and then wrap it up for the day, I think. Okay, we're back and we have the forks, handlebars, and headset installed. And what I'm going to do next is put the well, I'm just going to test fit the wheel and then just kind of put it on video. And I think we're going to call it a day, because I don't want to put on the disc yet or the caliper yet, because I got to make that little a brace for the front wheels. I got to make something similar to this. something like that. You see my other videos, you've seen it time and time again. But it's basically a brace, so when the motor spins, it doesn't over torque and break the dropouts or break the axle of the wheel. But I'm just going to throw the wheel and the battery on and then do a kind of a wrap up, and we're going to call it a day, folks. Okay, we're back, and so just to kind of wrap things up, it's Sunday, March 17th, 2019, St. Patrick's Day, and this is just, I don't know which chapter you'd call it, maybe 3, maybe 1, just depending on how you look at it, but so this is where we're tying it off for the day, but got a lot done. I mean, basically this thing was a bare frame. I took the axle kit off, ground the braces, mounted the, drilled all the holes for the riv nuts to mount the controller and the wiring, installed the extra magnet for the oh, hold on, I'm gonna put the battery on. Hold tight, folks. Okay, the battery's on, and so got a lot done today. The next step is just make the brace for the motor, so the axle doesn't over torque and all that stuff, and that's gonna take a lot of work, but again, I've done them before, as you've probably seen on my other videos. So that's it for now, and we are calling it a day. It's I bet it's every bit at 3 o'clock. 2:44. All right, ahead of schedule. So yeah, we're knocking off for the day. We got a lot done, and we'll just see what we got on the next video.